Hello and welcome back to Coffee and Conversations English, the podcast where we just talk, like two friends sharing a cup of coffee. I'm Avery.
And I'm Laura. Hi, everyone. We're so glad you're here with us today.
So, as always, the idea of this podcast is simple. We just have a normal, natural conversation about everyday life, and you get to listen in and pick up real conversational English along the way.
Exactly. And we try to speak clearly and at a comfortable pace, so it's easier to follow, but we also speak naturally, the way real people speak, which means sometimes we pause or say or we go off on a little tangent.
Which happens a lot with us, honestly.
It really does, but that's the fun part.
So today's topic, this is a good one. Today we're talking about staying in a hotel. Everything from booking your room to checking in to ordering room service to checking out. All of it.
Yes, and I feel like hotels are such a common experience, right? Whether you're traveling for work or for a holiday, at some point you're probably going to stay in a hotel. So knowing the vocabulary and the customs, especially things like tipping, can make the whole experience so much smoother.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get into it. Laura, I want to start by asking, what was the last hotel you stayed in?
Oh, good question. Let me think. It was actually a few months ago. I was visiting my sister in another city, and I stayed in this really lovely little boutique hotel, a smaller, more stylish hotel, not a big chain, right in the city center. It was gorgeous.
Oh, nice. Did you book it yourself?
I did, yeah. I booked it online. These days, I almost always book online through one of those travel websites. You can compare prices, read reviews, see photos of the rooms.
Right, it makes it so easy. And you can filter by things like whether they have free breakfast or a swimming pool or free parking.
Exactly. Those filters are so helpful. I always filter by free cancellation as well, just in case my plans change. That means if you need to cancel your booking, you don't have to pay a fee.
Smart. I always do that too. Okay, so let's walk through the whole hotel experience, kind of step by step. So the first thing after you've booked is actually arriving at the hotel and checking in. What does that typically look like?
So you arrive at the hotel and you go to the front desk or the reception desk, and that's where you check in. A staff member, usually called the receptionist or the front desk agent, will greet you. They'll ask for your name and your booking confirmation, which is just the reference number you got when you made your reservation.
And they'll usually ask to see some ID, right? Like your passport or your driver's license.
Yes, always. And sometimes they ask for a credit card as well, even if you've already paid, just to put on file. Usually in case you order anything extra during your stay, like room service or drinks from the minibar.
Ah, the minibar. The minibar is dangerous, Laura.
It is! It's that little fridge in your room with snacks and drinks inside. Everything in it is very convenient and very overpriced.
Yes, that tiny bottle of water that costs $4, no thank you. I will go to a shop.
Same. But anyway, so after you check in, they give you your room key. These days, it's usually a key card, a flat plastic card that you tap or swipe to open your door.
Right, and sometimes you also get a digital key on your phone now, which is pretty cool.
Oh yes, more and more hotels are doing that. Very convenient. And then they'll tell you your room number, what floor you're on, where the lifts are, or elevators if you're in America, and maybe mention a few amenities.
What do you mean by amenities?
Good question. Amenities are the extra features or services that the hotel offers. So things like the gym, the swimming pool, the restaurant, the spa, the business center, all of those are amenities. And the front desk might say something like, "Our gym is open 24 hours," or "Breakfast is served in the restaurant from 6 to 10 a.m."
Got it. And what about the bellhop? Does that still happen? I feel like in movies you always see someone carrying your bags to your room for you.
Yes, a bellhop or a bellboy, or sometimes called a porter, is a hotel employee who helps carry your luggage from the lobby to your room. And yes, it still happens, especially in nicer hotels. It's a lovely service, honestly.
It is nice. And speaking of nice gestures, this is a big one for a lot of people. Tipping. Let's talk about tipping because I think for people who aren't from the US or Canada, this can be really confusing.
Yes, absolutely. So, tipping means giving a small extra amount of money to someone as a thank you for their service. And in some countries, especially the United States, tipping is a very normal and expected part of life in hotels and restaurants.
Right. So at a hotel, there are a few different people you might tip. The bellhop, for example. If they carry your bags to your room, it's common to give them a couple of dollars per bag. So if you have two bags, maybe $2 or $3 each.
And then there's the housekeeping staff. These are the people who clean your room, change your sheets and towels, restock the little shampoos and soaps.
I always forget to tip housekeeping, and I feel so guilty about it afterwards.
Me too. But the thing is, a lot of people don't realize it's something you can do, and it really makes a difference to those workers. A common amount is $1 or $2 per night, and you usually leave it on the pillow or on the bedside table with a little note that says, for housekeeping, so they know it's for them.
That's a nice tip, pun intended.
Nice pun. And then the doorman. If there's a person at the entrance of the hotel who holds the door or helps you with a taxi, you might tip them $1 or $2 as well.
Okay, so there are a lot of people to tip.
There are. And I should say, in the UK and in many other countries, tipping is much less expected. It's more of a nice extra. So it really depends on where you are. But if you're traveling to the US, it's good to know these customs.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about the room itself. What do you typically find in a hotel room?
So, a standard hotel room will have a bed, obviously, and you might have a choice when you book a king bed, which is very large, or a queen bed, which is a bit smaller, or two double beds if you're sharing with someone. Then you have a bedside table, a lamp, a wardrobe or a closet for hanging your clothes, a desk and chair, a TV, and a bathroom.
And the bathroom usually has those little toiletries, the small bottles of shampoo, conditioner, body wash, a little bar of soap.
Yes, and in nicer hotels, you sometimes get a robe and slippers, which feels very fancy.
Very fancy indeed. Okay, so what about when you want food? Let's talk about room service.
Oh, yes. Room service is when you order food from the hotel and they bring it directly to your room. It's so convenient, especially if you've had a long travel day and you just want to eat in bed.
So how does it work?
Usually, there's a menu in the room, either a printed menu in a folder, or sometimes now it's a QR code you can scan with your phone. You look through the menu, decide what you want, and then you either call the front desk or the room service line, or you order through an app, and you give them your room number so they know where to deliver.
And then how long does it take?
It depends on the hotel and how busy they are, but usually somewhere between 20 minutes and an hour. They'll often give you an estimated wait time when you order.
And is there an extra charge for room service?
Often, yes. There's usually a delivery fee or a service charge added to your bill. And again, in the US, you'd typically tip the person who brings the food as well, around 15 to 20% of the bill.
Right. And speaking of the bill, this brings us to checking out, which is the end of your stay. Can you walk us through what that looks like?
Sure. So checking out is when you officially leave the hotel at the end of your stay. There's usually a checkout time. In most hotels, it's around 11 a.m. or 12 noon. So if you sleep in late, be careful not to miss it, or you might be charged for an extra night or at least a late checkout fee.
Has that ever happened to you?
Once. I won't talk about it.
Oh no.
It was fine. They were very nice about it. But yes, set an alarm. Anyway, so to check out, you go back down to the front desk with your key card and you hand it in. They'll print out your bill or folio, that's the official word for your hotel bill, and go through all the charges with you.
And that's where you can see if you accidentally raided the minibar at midnight.
Exactly. So you review the charges, and if everything looks correct, you pay. Or if you paid in advance online, they just confirm that everything's settled. And then that's it, you're checked out.
Before we move on, I want to mention one more thing. Late checkout and early check-in, because I feel like these come up a lot.
Oh, good point. So sometimes your flight or train doesn't leave until the evening, but your checkout time is noon. In that case, you can ask the hotel for a late checkout. Sometimes they'll do it for free if the hotel isn't fully booked, and sometimes there's an extra charge. It doesn't hurt to ask politely.
Right, and the same thing with early check-in. If you arrive very early in the morning before the official check-in time, which is usually around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, you can ask if your room is ready. Sometimes you get lucky.
Exactly. And if your room isn't ready yet, most hotels will store your luggage at the front desk so you can go out and explore without dragging your bags around.
That's such a useful service. Oh, I also want to mention, what do you do if something goes wrong in your room? Like the Wi-Fi isn't working, or the air conditioning is broken, or there's a noise problem.
Great point. You just call the front desk. That's always your first stop. You pick up the phone in your room, there's always a hotel phone, and dial the front desk. Or you can go down and speak to them in person and just explain the problem clearly. Something like, "Hi, I'm in room 204 and the Wi Fi in my room doesn't seem to be working. Could someone help me with that?"
And hotels are generally really responsive about that. It's in their interest to make sure you're happy with your stay.
Absolutely. And if something is really not right, like the room wasn't clean or there was a serious issue, you can mention it at checkout, and sometimes they'll offer a discount or some kind of compensation.
Good to know. Okay, one last thing I want to ask you about. Any tips, real tips, I mean, not money tips, for people who are nervous about staying in a hotel in an English speaking country for the first time?
Oh, I love this. Okay, first, don't be afraid to ask questions. Hotel staff are used to helping all kinds of guests from all over the world. If you don't understand something, it is completely okay to say, "I'm sorry, could you say that again?" Or, "Could you explain what that means?" They will not mind at all.
That's so true. The front desk staff are there to help.
Second, write down your room number. It sounds simple, but when you're in a new place and you're tired from traveling, it's easy to forget, and it's a bit embarrassing to go back to the front desk every time. Not that I've done that.
Sure.
And third, just try to enjoy it. Staying in a hotel is actually a really fun experience if you let yourself relax. Order room service, use the little shampoos, watch TV in bed. Enjoy the fact that someone else is making the bed in the morning.
That last one is my favorite part, honestly. Okay, before we finish up today, let's do a quick recap of some of the key words and phrases we used today, just to help them stick. Laura, can you run through them?
Of course. So we talked about booking a room, which means making a reservation, checking in, arriving at the hotel and getting your room, the front desk or reception, where the hotel staff are, a key card, the flat plastic card for your room door, amenities, the extra features and services the hotel offers, the bellhop or porter, the person who carries your luggage, housekeeping, the staff who clean your room, tipping, giving extra money as a thank you for good service, room service, ordering food to your room, the mini bar, the little fridge with snacks and drinks, your folio, your hotel bill, and checking out, leaving the hotel at the end of your stay.
Perfect. What a great list. I hope that all feels a bit more familiar and comfortable now. And remember, the best way to get better at English is just to keep listening, keep practicing, and not be too hard on yourself.
Exactly. You're doing amazingly just by being here and listening to us. Honestly, we love that you're here, every single one of you.
We really do. Thank you so much for listening to Coffee and Conversations English today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who's also learning English. It really helps us reach more people.
And if you have a topic you'd love for us to talk about in a future episode, send us a message. We love hearing from our listeners.
Until next time, keep learning, keep listening, and keep enjoying your coffee.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.